when no one will be allowed to smoke in the barn or the oil house. All of us on the learn how to call the fire department so we don't have to fumble through the phone book. The form also asks whether the fire department has a map of our buildings, special hazards, and water supply listed on a card. If we inspect our farms with an underwriter's form, we can prevent a lot of potential fires. Many fires are prevented for us every day in many unseen ways, prevented by the UL label. A farmer has a lot of that goes for roofing and building materials, as well as fire. Best assurance we have that the equipment we use won't start a fire. Farming looks easy to folks who've never tried it. Of course, with a tractor, a baler, and plenty of power, you never have to do much manual work yourself. There are times when farming looks too easy, especially when you're getting your hay in. To some folks, it looks as if all you have to do is go out and cut it. But in spite of all the help a farmer gets from his machinery, it took me 3 weeks to get my hay in last summer. You can blame that on the weather. Every time I got the tractor out, a bad summer storm would come up. Whenever we get a storm like this, I can't help thinking farming is still pretty much a battle with the elements. In spite of all our modern progress, we still have to run when we get a bad rainstorm. I've been farming for 30 years. Sometimes I think I've got everything pretty much under control. But then old Mother Nature comes along and shows me who's the boss. Even with all the modern ideas and tools a farmer has these days, he still has to battle a lot of persistent enemies. For instance, there's weather, which is usually too hot or too cold, too wet or too dry. Insects. Pests, misfortune, and fire. Most of these hazards are seasonal. Lucky for us, we have to fight insects only part of the year. But we got to be prepared for fire every day and night the whole year through. Keeping the fire department number in plain sight is one way of being prepared. Farmer's got to be better prepared because fire hits him harder than anyone else. And do you know why? Too many of our farms have been a long way from the fire department. By the time firemen got there, it was usually too late for anything but regrets. Too many farm buildings were built mighty poor. We don't know what a building code is in farm areas. We haven't had enough water to fight fires and put them out. We've had more than our share of hazards. For instance, hay that heats up all by itself and has to be guarded against. Lightning that requires special precautions. In the past few years, we've done a mighty good job of making our farms more secure from fire. Why, I've even built a fire pond on my place just to make sure there'd be plenty of water on hand in case a fire ever breaks out. Took my neighbor's bulldozer only a couple of days to scoop out the pond. Someday it might save my barn. I hear farmers all over the country are building ponds like mine. or making ponds by damming a brook. It's the sensible thing to do before you have your fire. Another improvement has been in our roads. Fire trucks can get to the farms faster. Most of us have telephones now. We can call the firemen in a hurry if the neighbors will get off the line. We've got a lot more fire departments in rural areas. These fire departments are using faster, better equipped trucks. Spray nozzles that cool off a fire faster. Wet water chemicals that help water get to the seat of a fire quicker. Even two-way radio is helping cut our farm fire losses. Tank trucks can carry water to a fire, but don't put off building your farm pond because of them. You'll need all the water you can get when you have a fire. Yep, we've come a long way, but we got a long way to go. Our hazards have been keeping right in step with our progress. For instance, I reckon we use 10 times the gasoline and oils that we used 20 years ago. A new fuel, liquefied petroleum gas, is used on thousands of farms. Nearly all our machines have some kind of fire hazard. We're using heat and power in so many ways, like this crop dryer, for instance. Nearly all farms now have electricity. Unless you use it carefully, it can be dangerous. Fires caused by lightning has increased. More things to attract it, maybe. Yes, there are still a lot of hazards in farming, more than some folks realize. With all the hard work, savings, and investments that we have put into our farms and our cattle, well, we need a lot of something to take some of the uncertainty out of farming. A single disaster, say a bad fire, could wipe out our savings and set us back 20 years. The one thing that will protect us from the effects of disaster is insurance. That's why my local insurance agent is a welcome visitor at my farm. The protection he brings is more than a policy. It's a guarantee that we'll survive and prosper no matter what happens. His service includes some mighty good engineering advice, such as the Farm Fire Safety Inspection Form from the National Board of Fire Underwriters. This form was a new one on me. There's so many places where a fire could start on a farm, and I need some help to find them. This form has helped me locate just about everything that might cause a fire. But most important, it shows you how to do the job yourself. You always learn something better by doing it firsthand. You notice, for instance, whether your lightning rod cables are grounded securely in moist earth. You get to checking the size of your fuses, wiring around. The form reminds you that you've got to use a safety if you're carrying any gasoline about the farm, and that you'd better keep your oils in a special house away from other buildings. There's hardly a farm that couldn't stand a little more inspection and a little more looking for the UL label. And there isn't a farm anywhere that couldn't stand having a good fire department in the neighborhood. You'll always feel more secure if you can get help somewhere. You need good firemen, proud enough of their equipment to show it off once in a while. And ready for instant action. I learned how important a good fire department can be the day some wet hay started smoldering in the barn. I ran to call the fire department. I gave the operator my fire block number. The fire fire block number told the fire department exactly where my farm was. In a matter of seconds, the firemen were on the way. Close call. If it hadn't been for the fire department's speed, we'd have lost the barn. I'll never forget what the fire chief said when I thanked him. It takes a whale of a lot to be prepared for fire and to fight it. But the best time to fight a fire is long before it started. That's the time for vigilance, inspection, and the program of prevention. That means safety and security to every farmer.